My name is Dr. Deshna and I am an MBBS graduate. I just gave my NEET PG exam this year, that is 2024. My rank, it's a bit not very good rank, but it's a decent rank, and hope so I get somewhere admission in a college where I want to pursue the branch I wish for. But that is second thing. So I thought about making this video because I know there are a lot of people who've got like amazing rank. Like there are a lot of toppers, two digit rank, 3-digit rank, 4-digit rank people telling their journey, and then there are tons of people who have jumped from 72,000, 94,000 to 2-digit rank, and commendable journey they have told. But what I have observed is that they're absolutely right, but the only thing that they have been focusing on is what to do. But I think it's very important to know what not to do during your prep, because I think the do's and don'ts both go together. So I would really suggest you to talk to anyone whenever you want to talk, and focus on what not to do or what their mistakes were, so that you avoid them, because actually mistakes play a crucial role. So today I want to talk about the mistakes I did, or the things I would have known before my prep or before my exam. So basically I'll start with my introduction. So as I said, I'm Dr. Deshna, sorry, out of habit. I am from BJ Medical College, Pune. I completed my MBBS, I passed my final year in 2023, and this was my internship attempt. So I completed my internship in April 2024, and I gave my exam in August 2024. So it was a roller coaster ride, because BJGMC being a government hospital, the patient load is tremendous, and the internship is not that easy or lenient. You have to work, and then there are friends of mine, there are colleagues of mine and batchmates of mine who have scored tremendous amount of marks, and hats off to their the way they have performed in their NEET exam, and big congratulations to them first of all. Secondly, I have been a very average student, I'll say, not because I never studied. The thing is, I did study, but I was never somebody who read in the first go and remembered everything. I was somebody who needed at least 2 or 3 reads for one answer. I am that kind of a girl, and I still am, and that is what made my prep vast, or you can say I needed multiple revisions, and the postponement kind of helped me. So that's one of the reasons I could score. Secondly, I want the people who watch this to know that there are a lot of don'ts you don't need to do, so that your score will increase from, if I would have not done those don'ts, I would have scored around 300 to 400 rank. I'm not even kidding. I have literally calculated the mistakes I made and things that could have prevented me. So yeah, that's somebody I am. So coming back to the don'ts, why are the don'ts important? Because there are lots of things available. There are various sources, there are n number of cube banks available, n number of grand tests available. Material is vast. Every student will have different approach to what they want to study from there. So I won't comment on that, because it is genuinely a personal choice. In the end, it's all the same. Medicine doesn't change, but the way somebody teaches might be accepted by few people, and vice versa. Choosing of what to choose and which subscription to take, I will still suggest that go with what you feel is good for you, comfortable for you, money wise, even like some people like to do it online, some people like to do it offline, some people like to do a mixture. So it's absolutely up to you what you want to do. So that's the first thing. Source has been important, and what mistake I did was, in the last months of my prep, I was jumbled between what should be my final source, and there's where I realized that no, Deshna, you are using multiple sources for one subject. So I will only suggest that use one source for one subject. I'm not saying use one source for all subjects, there's a difference. So I will just say that use one source for one subject, and make sure that whatever source it is, you are thorough with it. Yeah, and it's good to have these sources in hand way before your exam, like way before in the sense at least a year and a half before. So like all your final year preps and stuff should be from that books or those notes. Second thing which I didn't do was that I didn't focus on reading my main notes, because I started my prep very late in my internship. I didn't think that I will attempt in the first attempt would be the great attempt, but luckily because of the postponement it happened. So minimum you need 8 months, and maximum to it is 5.5 years of journey to cracking NEET PG. So start early as you can. I am not even saying start internship, whatever is, you know, you, right? You've given all your exams, so you know your pace, you know how many times you need to read. Like I told you, I needed at least 3 to 4 revisions before any question answer thing, even in my MUHS exams. So that is first thing. Then next point I want to focus on is that no matter how heavy your duty is, make sure you do something. That's something I didn't do. Like there were times when I had heavy duties and I used to see people around me, you know, solving MCQs, and you know, that I should have done, that could have saved my time in the last days of my prep. Then second thing which I didn't do during my postings is I wasted a lot of time. Not always your duties will be heavy. There will be some postings where you get a lot of time, so utilize those time very crucially. Like plan your day. Like it should not be you plan the whole internship, how you are going to do what and stuff. That's unpredictable, especially if you're working in a government hospital. And the fourth point I want to tell is that make daily or weekly goals. Don't be like I want to make the whole monthly plan or I want to make the whole yearly plan together. That's not feasible. Make this was a rule told to me by a senior of mine, that you know, for long subjects, like give maximum 12 to 14 days for the first read and 5 to 7 days for a short subject. So in that way you can do the first read of 2 subjects within 2 months. You know, you're getting the idea. And mostly you should, lots of people say this, that you should study the subject you're posted in, but that really didn't work for me. So I used to study the opposite, in the last phase, like when I actually realized ki, okay, I need to start studying. So what I did during my OBGYN rotations, I started studying subjects like dermat, radio and psychiatry, you know. And the first day of my internship, which I was posted in community health medicine, so that time I started with surgery. You know, that was the first day and the last day I studied in my internship. And then during my OBGYN rotation during January, I started studying back. But then there was again a phase where I didn't study at all because the postings were quite heavy. So that's the fourth point I want to tell you, that divide your day or divide your days according to short targets. Don't keep as lifelong goals. You know, targets can be achieved. Goal is something which continues journey. It's not like okay, ticked off from the box. ऐसा नहीं होता है, especially in goals. So that is the fourth thing. And fifth thing I want to tell you is that you have to focus on the PYTs rather than the PYQs. That's the one mistake I did. I was like, okay, I know this PYQ, I need to read whatever is written below the question. Okay, this is these are the points and इसमें से ही questions आएंगे. This is what I did for my NEET also. It's not that I, you know, rectified my mistakes and did something correct. That's why I want to tell you this to everybody out there who's like me, who started late but they are just focused on the PYTs and PYQs. Yes, there are a lot of people who will say that this year's paper was different, there were a lot of questions which were not expected and stuff like that, but trust me, medicine doesn't change. There were, if I retrospect now, they were all PYTs. They were not PYQs, but they were PYTs in some way or the other. So yeah, obviously your PYTs are important. And then there are a lot of questions. A few of them have asked me that how do you know that during the first read what to mark and what not to mark? To be honest, I'm not a very good person to answer that because I have hardly read my notes. I have seen, and what I should have probably done was, during the first read you already have a set of PYTs, like previous year topics in your mind. So you know, okay, this topic is important. It's just like your university exam, you know, these are the long answer questions they can ask, these are short answer questions they can ask. So you kind of have a tick mark list in front of you. All you need to do is focus on those topics. Along with that, you have to read the subtopics which come under that and underline those so that you can revisit them during your second read. So that is the ideal thing you can do. Or if you feel like there are a lot of things which are important and highlight and you need to reread, I would suggest that in the second read also read the whole book. That is actually me, who's somebody who needs you know, read a lot. I want to tell you is that, so then there will be a lot of things which will be happening side by side. Let's say or your some program or anything like that. It's really important to stay focused because that is something I didn't do. I had a convocation program, the graduation ceremony, and I was too involved in it. And the people who were not involved got a rank and I did not. So yeah, but if you want to get involved, make sure that you're prepped from the start. It should not be like you're wasting your time, you're wasting your days because of the program and stuff. I know it's once in a lifetime, but again, NEET is also once in a lifetime. And so if you don't know, okay, like, you know, this is that serious, you need to know the statistics beforehand, because there are a lot of people who don't know, okay, NEET is this, I need to get into this college for my this. So you know, you need to have a baseline cutoff of your marks, of your college, of your rank. You need to be very serious about the prep. You can't be midway starting like me. Luckily the postponement happened, otherwise I would have been making another video next year hopefully. So you need to be very serious about giving the prep. The next point I want to highlight is that a lot of people are worried about giving grand tests. Meet me. I am a person who has a grand test phobia, because the first grand test I gave was very late in my preparation during January or February. There was this damn CBT I gave. It was amazing. The questions were beautifully thing, but I scored around 74 correct, I guess, because I had not studied, first thing. And second thing, that kind of negated my confidence to -1. I was already underprepared and I was genuinely worried because that time the exam was supposed to be in March or something like that. And then later on it got postponed. But you understand the level of pressure it creates. Yes, GTs have their way of, affecting our lives. But we have to make sure that it does not affect our lives to that extent that we stop giving them. Because trust me, GTs have been playing the most crucial point in somebody's prep, because GTs actually help make you realize, okay, this is weak, this is that. And later on when I started giving GTs, they were also not regular based. I hardly gave 10 GTs in total, including the NEET PG. But then there are people who have given 50 GTs also. Yes, you need to give that many tests. In UG prep I was somebody who had given those many grand tests, so I know that it is really important to give GTs. So focus on the GTs, and when you review them, don't just review the wrong things, or don't just review the questions you have guessed marked. You need to review the whole paper, because the whole paper while solving, it's different. And when you come out of the GT and you resolve the correctly answered question also, you will not be sure of the answer, because that is how our brain works. Because in that moment you don't know, something or the other just comes and clicks and goes, but later on you don't remember. And it's not like the final exam, right? After NEET, I won't even suggest you to go back and solve the correct questions. This is something I'm talking about during your prep. Every question is like a wrong question only. You have to treat them the same way you will treat any wrong question, any wrong PYT, any wrong PYQs. Then the next point I want to highlight is on, do not make mistakes in PYQs. PYQs are those Q bank or in hand marks, like boost your confidence later on. So PYQs are those. Every PYQ, everyone in this India is going to get correct. So why are you not making sure that you are not somebody who makes the silly mistakes? In the Marrow Q bank thing, you get to know the percentage of how many people have got this correct. And when you do a silly mistake, it shows that okay, 90% have got this correct and you made a silly mistake. So PYQ missing is equal to the silly mistake. You understand? 90 to 95 people are going to do it correct, and you will be among those 5 to 10% who will do it wrong. So you do not want to be in that. That is something I messed up. I hardly did my PYQs. Luckily they were not directly asked this time, but again, that was just based out of luck. ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. The next point I want to focus is then people who were at par with me, they doing little bit only, okay, not like they were doing too much, but they scored amazing. Because the only thing they told me was how they scored this much is because they kept their cool, first of all. Second thing, what they told me is that we did not change many answers in the question. Your first instinct, okay, was this was correct, this was correct, this was correct. So that came out to be true for them. Then the next thing what they told me is that they solved it as if 200 patients had come to them and there were 4 options, and whatever answer was there was amongst those only. So that is absolutely the only way one should approach the questions. If you know something, you know it, mark it, move on. Do not come back to that question, change your answer and then regret it. That's what I did. I have changed multiple question answers. I knew this is the answer, but I couldn't because I was overthinking. So yeah, if you're someone who is overthinker like me, please make sure that you have enough practice of how to rule out the 4 options, how to mark between the 2 options which are always at the end. You can always rule out 2 options, but you will always be confused between the 2s, and those 2s will actually play important decision while calculating your rank, while calculating your marks. So make sure for that the only thing is practice. Then that's the next point I want to focus on, that when you practice a lot of MCQs, you know where you're going wrong and you know what you're messing up, and okay, I need to focus on not doing this. Again, the don'ts, because do's everybody knows, trust me, but they do not know what they're doing wrong. So you have to think about this also. Okay, if I do this, this will happen. And for that, the only thing helping is the practice. If you solve lots of MCQs, you will not realize, okay, these type of questions I need to be very careful with the catchy thing, the not, the except, all, except this, multiple choice questions, reading all the options. These are the basic mistakes we do, and we call them silly mistakes. But trust me, no mistake is silly mistake. That silly mistake costs you your rank, your college, your dream branch, and probably your year. So that's one thing. The next thing I want to tell you is that, as I told you, a lot of people perform amazing all throughout their years, but somewhere during their exam phase they mess up. Why does that happen? Because we are humans, okay? It's not that we have our mind set to give our exam without having any emotions or thoughts coming in our mind. Okay, what will happen if I miss this question? Trust me, all 200 questions I had to tell myself, Deshna, this is just another question. That patient has come to you with 4 options, you have to choose between one and move on. There were thoughts coming in my mind that okay, if I answer this question wrong, that will cost me my rank. But I had to push myself, I had to tell myself, okay, this is a patient coming to me with 4 options, I have to focus on what's correct, what's not correct, what is the diagnosis of the patient, and give him the treatment, give him the prescription, which is a marker box, and move on. Question, you have to do this 200 times. That's where Zanabora ma'am helped me a lot, because see, concept wise, if you ask me, I'm a Damsonian. I am a hard true core Damsonian. That is different story that I did not read Dam's notes, but I am in awe of the way they have taught, and I am somebody who love their way of teaching. Again, no offense to any other teachers, because everyone out there teaching is equally good. It is just how you like to approach. Second thing, I got to know about cerebellum and the BTR thing quite late. Like during, you remember our first exam was around March. I got to know it around December end. So I started doing BTR that time, but it was half-heartedly because I had having OBGYN posting and it was very heavy. So the only thing which stuck with me during BTR was obviously the BTR prep, but the way ma'am told us to focus. You have to be very calm while solving the questions. You can't mess up reading the question because you were in a haste. You can't come back and say, okay, I made this silly mistake, I should have read it properly. Yeah, there were questions I did that I knew I was marking, say 49% I'm marking wrong, 51% I'm marking correct. So it kind of is also guesswork. The guesswork didn't work. But if you are somebody who would have been practicing these type of questions a lot, you would have not faced that challenge. And that's where the BTR thing helped me, to be honest. While the approach, the calmness, and the 3.5 hours of your exam, which are absolutely crucial. You enter the exam hall around 1 hour early, and from 1 hour to that 3.5 hours, that is like 4.5 hours, you have nothing to do in your life. You have to just sit there and solve questions, and it's not easy, trust me. It is not at all easy, because you have to be very patient. The atmosphere there is way different. There's a lot of pressure, and there can be a lot of technical glitches. There can be so many incoming people, outgoing people, the peers around you. The peer pressure is actually real, because everyone around you is competing for a rank, competing for a seat, same seat you want, so there are so many factors. But the only thing you have to, the horses have those eye thing. In Marathi we call them झापड. तर झापड लावून तुम्हाला त्या एक्झाम हॉलमध्ये बसायचं आहे. Okay, for the English translation, I don't know what it is called because my vocabulary is not that good. But though they have those coverings, they can't see anything beyond the straight line. They are just supposed to go on that straight line. So please go. And last thing I want to tell you, that then there will be lots of distractions from the government, especially postponement, preponement, this rule, that rule, ye, wo, things like that. Trust me, 2024 has seen it all. And I think the lesson you all should learn from us is that how to keep your calm, how to keep your composure during this time, because look at it as a positive way. Everything that is happening with you or for you or with you is because it was meant for you. Have that golden rule, and while you're prepping, make sure you're happy. You're not tensed, you're not worried, you're not worried about making your parents proud or not, and this and that. I would suggest leave all your worries at the door of your house. When you come back home, calm yourself, start studying in your little corner, wherever it is, leave it. Just make sure you know what you want, what you achieve in the end is later thing, but what you want, what is your target, what is your goal, what kind of doctor you want to be. Take 5 minutes of your day, research which college you want, which branch you want, what rank it needs, what marks it closes. Plus 20 marks and minus 2000 rank should be your target. Do not be somebody who's negative during your prep. There will be times when you have not studied at all. It's okay. Every day is different, but make sure the next day you study twice. So that's all about the don'ts I want to tell you. Baki, I will only give you one advice, that no matter how your personal life is going, do not let it reflect your professional life or the NEET PG prep, because in the end you have been working 5.5 years of your life, including the internship, to give a NEET PG exam. And for somebody who is a fresher, who is just doing internship, do internship, try to learn as much as possible, but make sure you all are studying equally, because nobody is stopping. There are people who have been studying, there are people who are going to take drop and they're going to be studying even way better than you, and then you will be competing with them for the rank. You won't be competing just with your batch. So whenever you think you're doing enough, remember there are people who are doing way more than you. I know comparison is not good, but in such a competitive exam you have to compete, not just do it yourself, but you have to compete with the people who are actually preparing, because in the end you're going to compete with them. It's not a self improvement session. Yes, when it comes to a rank, a marks, and a college and a seat, you're competing with your peers. So always remember that there are going to be, if you're doing 100%, there are people who are giving their 200%. So make sure you're giving your 200%, because it should never be like, okay, I feel disappointed after giving my NEET because I had time in my hand and I didn't prep. That regret should never come. And make ample of mistakes, because mistakes are something which you will remember all your life. Do you forget your mistakes? The past mistakes? Do you forget something like you did this but you should have done this? अरे ये तो मेरी सबसे बड़ी गलती है. You remember your mistakes, and that's how you learn. सब लोग सब बोलेंगे, करना तुमको अपनी है. So I will just say that stick to one person who you kind of follow since the first year. Only few people. सुनो सबकी, करो अपनी. That's the golden rule. And I want to just say all the best and start preparing now. If you have not started yet, still time has not gone. Even if you start today is September mid. Even if your exam is in March, you have around, calculate kar lena, 3 plus 3, 6 months. Okay, so please start, and all the very best, and hopefully you like this session. I make such more videos after I get a good college, a good seat, and a good branch. Later on videos to aate hi rahenge. This is just the first of many videos to come, and hopefully you like it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like it. Okay, all the best. Bye guys.